Welcome to Grounds for Discussion
and Title Talk,
where we bring together closing, processing, real estate,
and coffee, of course.
Whether you're a buyer, seller, agent, or fellow industry professional, join us as we unpack the processes that make real estate deals happen. Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Barbie.
And today we have the unsung hero, our Honorable Greene County Assessor, Brent Johnson.
Honorable being because...
Because I'm elected, that's why.
Elected.
That's
right.
I just learned that today, that he is an elected official. So,
So when the election comes around, do you get nervous? Like, I feel like I would be nervous. Like,
Well, yeah, who doesn't get nervous, right? So you're sitting there and you're like, I wonder who's going to run against me.
Nobody does.
Well, nobody knows until that somebody goes and signs up. But you're hoping nobody does.
So
Yes.
how many years have you been elected? Like how many years
Okay,
have
so
you been?
I've been elected twice,
Okay.
but I'm still in my first term, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
Because in Missouri, once you're elected, you don't take office until the following September. So that's almost a whole year after you're elected.
Okay.
And so I was elected in 2020, took office September 1st of 2021.
So fun.
really?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Well, but during COVID.
It was during COVID, so
Yes.
campaigning was weird during COVID, and a weird time taking office during COVID.
Right.
But so I'll finish up my first term at the end of August of this year.
Okay.
Start my second term, which I just got elected for this past November,
Congrats.
and then nobody ran against me because, again, who wants to be the assessor, right?
well,
Oh, I do. I know. I know, but we get a bad rap. We're the bad guy,
Are
right?
you?
That's what I feel like.
but
So.
we're going to help people understand what good you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what did you bring us to drink today?
Well, today I don't drink coffee, so I brought you my favorite get me up in the morning, which is Diet Dr. Pepper from
Diet
your
Dr. Pepper.
friendly Sonic. But
Well,
let's
from
hold
Sonic.
your handle over the
Cheers.
Cheers.
Route
Cheers.
66.
Nothing
Now, let me
beats
just
that.
say, for diet drinks, Diet
Diet
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper
Pepper
is probably one of the best because you don't have that aftertaste.
You don't have that aspartame taste.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is it not?
No, it's in there.
It's
it
in
is.
there. It's in there. You can
If you
taste
don't have
it.
enough-
Yeah.
Like Dr. Pepper is pretty sweet already.
It already is sweet, and it's great tasting. So
Yes.
absolutely.
I love that.
We're going to dive in with you. Tell us what affects property value in your opinion.
What affects property value, in my opinion? Well, property value, from my standpoint, from the assessor standpoint, is that we value property using a mass appraisal, which is not like your fee appraisal from the banks or from a realtor, but a mass appraisal system. So we look at market and have a fair market value. So from us, we value properties from what you can see from the outside. We don't see the inside of your home. And so
So you're not peeking through the windows.
we're not peeking through the windows. No. But we do value based on what we know about the property. So any aspects of that. And so then we use computer-aided mass appraisal because there's 128,000 properties in Greene County. So to go out and do a fee appraisal for every one of those would be impossible. And so we run it through that, which is an algorithm, and it comes to a value. So our value is based on sales information that we have, as well as market trends, cost replacement for those houses and structures, so those type of things. And then we come to a value based in a neighborhood, and not like your typical neighborhood, maybe a region of the county or a region of the city, and we come to a value there, and it's based upon that.
Okay.
So we have our real estate tax. So what does that go to? What are we using?
funding?
What are we funding?
What are you funding with your taxes? Okay, for one thing, taxes is a bad word in my office because I don't have nothing to do with taxes. However, because your taxes are set by your taxing entities, your schools, your fire districts, your ambulance districts, and so my job is to give the assessed value, which is then sent to them for their budgetary purposes. They set their levies, they generate their tax, how much taxes they need, and then the collector collects it. But your taxes, majority of those, about 75 to 78% goes to your public school system.
Public school system, law enforcement, fire department.
Not really law enforcement, but fire departments. So if you live like in Battlefield, the Battlefield Fire Protection District, or Logan Rogersville, you have your different school districts. You have your cities. So the city of Springfield has a property tax. So does Republic. Everybody has that. The county has a property tax. But those all are a very small portion of the overall tax bill that you have.
Okay. So then the other question is, we've had so many senior citizens coming in, older couples asking about the tax break.
Yeah.
So kind of explain to us, maybe just give us a light synopsis of what what are the rules and regulations of that?
Sure. So in 2023, Greene County Commission passed the Senior Citizen Tax Credit bill that the governor had signed. And so what that allows you to do is if you're 62 years of age or older, you can come in and have your taxes frozen at what they call a base level. And that base level is the year that you apply for the tax credit. So in Greene County in 23, so 24, if you came in and applied for it in 24 is your base tax credit level. So it's not going to increase from your 24 taxes. We'll still assess it the same way, and you'll see on your tax bill how much your taxes will be, and then minus the credit, which is the difference between your 24 and 25 taxes.
Okay.
But it has to be your primary residence. So
Okay.
if you own a home at the lake and own a home here, you got to figure out which one you're going to have your tax credit on.
Gotcha.
So
So not my multiple.
Yeah, and you have to be the owner of the property as well. So if you're renting the property or your name is not on the title or deed, you're not going to be able to get that credit.
And correct me if I'm wrong, do you have to go in every year, or can you do something online if you're?
The initial year you would go in to
Okay.
the collector. The collector is one who runs the program. You go into his office and they would go ahead and set your base. And every year you can renew that either online or come in person or by mail.
And then what are some of the things, I know you can go on the assessor's website and download the documentation that you need to bring in, but what are some of the other items that they would need to bring in?
Right now, from what I understand from the collector,
Mm-hmm.
is that everything you need is right there in the office. So you need to bring in yourself and your government issued ID, and then they have everything else in the office for you.
Awesome.
That's a really great program. I think that helps senior citizens.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it does. And the thing is about housing values increase. It's hard to explain to someone who may have bought their house in 1965 for $13,000, and
Right.
today it's worth $215,000. I mean, it's their largest investment, right? So, but they have an issue because they don't understand. Hey, these are unrealized gains.
Right.
But when you go to sell your house, you want the highest dollar value house as well.
Yes.
I know, that's the balance.
So I have
the
one more
balance.
question about it. So we, for 2024, went in and had our property tax frozen. So my question is that indefinite, or as far as with the county allowing that until they say no more?
Is the program ongoing?
Is the program
the
ongoing?
program's ongoing
Okay.
unless there's some kind of law change or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's indefinite as long as you live in that house, but now
Okay.
it's not transferable. So if you sell your home and downsize or sell your home, buy something different, you can't take that credit to the next house. You have to start all over again.
Start all over
Yeah.
again. Okay, gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brent, for coming and hanging
Oh,
out with us.
absolutely.
We had all the questions, and you
Yeah.
answered all
It
the
was-
questions
When we
beautifully.
told people you were coming to visit us, people were like, "Oh, that is going to be really interesting,"
Yeah.
especially for our industry. I mean, I think
Sure.
Yes.
you're
Absolutely.
a really valuable resource for what we do in our everyday.
Yes.
Absolutely,
So-
yeah. I mean, we're the keeper of the ownership information, so who owns properties, and
Yeah.
we're the foundation of the taxing process.
Right.
But taxing's a bad word in my office. So
You
we don't use that word. It's a 4-letter word, taxes.
Texas.
Taxes.
But no, we stick with having a little bit of fun with that. But
Well, tell us, before we end, in your office, tell us the most interesting scenario you've had in your realm, if you will. Has anything crazy happened where you're like, how did this happen?
there's been some weird things that happen. Let's put it that way. So anywhere, because we handle not only residential properties, we also have personal property as well. But from the property side, real estate side, exemptions are a very interesting thing we deal with, property
Okay.
exemptions. It's up to the assessor to make those decisions, which is a very gray area in statute. If you go read statutes, if you want to go to sleep, go read the 137. But the difficult part about that is that we have to look at a lot of information. And we have a lot of property owners come in, we tell them, or business owners or charitable organizations who have property they want to exempt, here's why I can't exempt it. I've had people pray that I exempt their property with me. So it was kind of interesting.
Right there?
In my office,
And
yeah.
how did you handle that? And
I
paused?
paused, let them do it,
Yeah.
and we had a discussion, and then they left and they came back. But once they had the right information, then I was able to do what they asked me to do. It just takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like a very patient person, and I would think with all of the individuals and entities that you work with, you would need to have that trait.
I do my best. You know, we deal with a lot more than just property assessment. We deal with abatements and tax credits and all those different types of things that are out there. So a lot of constituents or citizens don't understand everything the assessor does.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more than just putting a price or a value to a home.
Right.
There's a lot of things with exemptions and abatements and these deferred property value things like that the cities use as their economic driving tools. We deal with a lot with that as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things out there.
Well,
That
thank you
is
so
pretty
much
amazing.
for joining us today. We're really appreciative. We know you're super busy, and so for you to take time out of your day to
Absolutely.
come and visit us, we're very grateful.
Well, I
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you
Bye.
next time.